Coach Carter is back, guys. Welcome to another installment. This is the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Fordham Hoops as your Rams continue to dig deeper here in Season 3. Fordham has a week-long break between the Rhode Island game that finished off last episode and our opening game today against the Xavier Musketeers. And I'm sure our Rams are very thankful for the break as they've played a very exhausting schedule as of recent. A 5-4 record in league play isn't exactly an elite mark at face value, but factoring the six one-score games that Fordham's played in just the last month alone, and the fact that we've taken 5 of them as wins, that 5-4 standing becomes much more appealing, I'd say. We'll see if the crazy finishes continue here in episode 29 today, although you'd hope that we start to win some more games a little more convincingly considering what's at stake. 5-4 conference record, that puts Fordham in 7th place if the season ended today, only a half a game away from our first round bye. How crazy is that? The top 4 squads get the first round off in the Atlantic 10 tournament, with Fordham only a half game back from that 4th spot. As you can see, St. Louis, the 22nd team in the country, holds that spot, so it's a pretty big game to open up episode 29. This could be a conference tournament preview matchup as well, as Xavier is on the heels of Fordham. The Musketeers are also first round bye hopefuls. These Xavier Musketeers, they play an entertaining game, but no player is more exciting to watch on this roster than their Superman, Scott Polite. The 6'7" Milwaukee-born junior is a matchup nightmare. Lightning quick, tight handle, excellent free throw shooter. Combine those skills with his high flying ability, and Polite is arguably the most entertaining young man to watch in the conference. 97 dunk, 85 vert, give him a lane and he'll embarrass you. They surround the 16 point per game scorer with plenty of shooting and floor stretching ability as 3 Musketeers shoot at least 40% from downtown. I've honestly been really enjoying putting together these recent episodes, guys, now that the team is much more competitive and we've got a chance to do some damage in the conference tournament here in Season 3. This series has become loads of fun to record and put together, and I just hope on the other side of the screen you guys are enjoying it just as much as I am. So let's get started here in the Cintas Center. This is actually the second largest stadium in the A10. That is, in terms of seating capacity, as immediately we are starting out with a highlight play indeed. Kaya Hendry, who put together a couple awesome passing games last episode, finds Evangelo Higgins immediately off the jump for a pretty feed. Kaya Hendry set his career high in assists last episode in that overtime win against Rhode Island, 9 dimes in that one, and he starts off today with a beauty as Evangelo Higgins with the turnover though. He's trapped, trying to go into the post, and Xavier immediately follows up the nice dime by Kaya with an 11-2 run in response. So obviously Fordham, one of the reasons why they've not really won many games convincingly as of recent is that these slow starts has been kind of hurting them. Preston Murphy misses the rare 3-pointer, but hey, how about Fabian Swanson? What a great tip-in, gotta love that second effort. 13-6 now. Kaya Hendry sets things up as Xavier goes man for one of the first times today. Binkala with a pretty tough screen as Hendry with the 3 ball. He's also been a dead eye from 3. His deep range combined with his playmaking has been the X factor here, and one of the main reasons why Fordham is really putting together their best season under Coach Carter so far, as Pinkala with the high post isolation, putting the ball on the deck. How about a run for Fordham as we immediately answer the Musketeers? Corey Terrell will then check in for Fabian Swanson not too long after. 7 and some change left to go. Here's Titus Holland, who reverses it to Tyron Higbee for 3. The 6'9" forward is one of the 3 3-ball shooters that puts up at least 40% from downtown on this Musketeers team. They're one of the best teams in the conference at stretching the floor. These guys have some big men who can shoot and some guards who can deliver them passes. 22-17 as this one's now tipped away. Lee McGinn on the steal as the small forward tries to look for a man in transition. Goes inside to Percy Hamilton for 2 points. As it's actually the secondary players on the Musketeers making the biggest impact. We haven't heard much from Scott Polite, as then Kai Hendry with a bad turnover there. As it goes bad from worse here. It's another tough sequence for Fordham. So now Hendry pounds the rock with only seconds left to play in the first half, down by 9. But Hendry is covered by the Xavier Musketeers backup point guard. This is Theron Sherman trying to check him. And that's just too easy. You got to change the matchup, man. This freshman's too quick, and he scores his first bucket since that three-pointer he hit off the screen earlier. Hendry with 5 points to go along with a couple pretty assists as he's got to start getting it going. He's been a second half matchup nightmare for opponents. And this is a great way to head into the half to at least cut it down to size a little bit. But there's some things we desperately need to change. Hendry's the only starter that actually has recorded an assist. We turned it over too much against their press. And if you look, we're doing a good job on Scott Polite. He hasn't scored, but he has facilitated very well with 3 Musketeers scoring 7 points. 5 assists for Scott Polite. Here's just one of the 5. This was a nice one to Percy Hamilton early on in the half. Well, we wanted this crazy stretch of games to end, but if we're going to come back in this one, looks like it's going to have to be another pretty intense one. 7-point game, big mid-season battle as it's ripped away from Bennett Pinkala, but it's Kaya Hendry, the freshman, out hustling everybody to get the steal. Murphy to Higgins, but it's well short. Missed opportunity there from Higgins as he really turned it around last episode, but not a good look there. Hamilton forcing it up, but it's Higbee going over the back of Hendry, swatted away from Pinkala, by Pinkala I should say, but somehow it still falls into the hands of Higbee to put in 2 more. Inside and outside, Higbee's had Pinkala's number as the stretch big, has 9 points now, leading all Musketeer players. 38-33, Fordham trying to find an answer. Feels like we're down by more than just 5, honestly. We have not been playing up to par. Scott Polite trying to finally get on the score sheet. No good there as it's up ahead to Higgins. And then he'll go cross court to Murphy. Jab on Higbee. And the three-pointer's knocked down. Back of the iron and in. Check out Preston using the jab step to create space. And despite giving up 4 inches of height on the 6'9" Higbee, he still somehow finds a way to get the shot up and knocks it down. Higbee gets jaded by our team captain, and that 3 could not have come at a better time. Murphy now with 9 points, and he's our team's leader in that category. 11:18 to go now. That shot brings it to within 4 as there's more lazy rebounding by Fordham. Kicked around. Titus Holland, the point guard for 3. 7 points, and he extends the lead to 7. Look at Higgins here. He tries to tip it out to Murphy, but he doesn't get enough behind it, so it stays in the hands of Higbee. And then it results in pretty much 3 free points for the Musketeers. You gotta go up and grab it with 2 hands and chin it. That's something you get benched for. Come on, Higgins, that's just lazy. Back down to an 8-point deficit as Murphy's open for 3 on the next possession, and it drops. Murphy, oh my goodness, just when you think you've seen it all from the team captain, he has another one up his sleeve. The friendly shooter's bounce. I don't think I've ever seen a ball trickle in like that before, and I think Fabian Swanson's reaction says it all. My goodness, 6 straight points. And the biggest stage of the contest for Murphy keeps us afloat, barely. We are barely holding on for life, for dear life right now. Scott Polite has had a nice little run recently. He went pretty much, I think, like 20 minutes of the game without a basket. Then now he's got 9 in the last 4 minutes. He grabs a steal, and then Hendry, unfortunately, picks up his 3rd personal. So now our point guard's in foul trouble, and we are in deep trouble as a team as well. 4:30 left to go, down by 9 as we're trying to break the press. Up ahead to Murphy. Great find by Higgins breaking the press as Murphy knocks down his 3rd triple of the half. 3 of 4 on the game. Nice setup by Higgins, putting just enough air to get it over the trap to our boy Preston. We get the stop here, and our boy Corey Terrell checks in, providing some relief for Swanson. And he actually will take the little feed, and as the trailer on the break, he puts in a huge layup thanks to a nice finger roll finish. Dustin Black finding the trailer. Time out Xavier. Nice little 5-0 run to keep things competitive. Corey Terrell with a big layup there. The senior coming off the bench and just playing his role. He's had a pretty consistently solid senior year, and he'll actually stay in the game. It's Bennett Pincala who checks out as Swanson comes back in with 3:18 left to go. Murphy trying to decipher this zone. Goes high post to Terrell. Hendry with some space. Book it for the freshman. Another 3 drops for Fordham. I wish this would come a little bit sooner so we wouldn't have to play from behind and make it so dramatic. But at the end of the day, we've given ourselves another chance. 2 minutes left to go. Another big finish might be within our sights. Here we go. Come on, Hendry. Looking for the Preston Murphy screen. He'll get it. The pop goes to Murphy. 6 seconds to shoot. 1-on-1 against Colson Kowalczyk. The 2-guard. He beats him. Murphy with 19. And 13 of those have come in the second half. It's tipped away by Higgins, who sets up the slam by Swanson. A huge run for the Rams, tied up at 62 apiece. This place has gone quiet. This place is shocked. The Cintas Center. You can hear a pin drop. Percy Hamilton with the jumper will get things popping again a little bit in here. Scott Polite with his career-high 9th assist. He continues to facilitate from the front court position. A minute left to go. The minutes turn to seconds. Higgins looking for the roll man off the off-ball screen. We like our odds with Fabian Swanson, who's played an excellent game today. 15 points for number 15 over the double team. The hook shot goes. And then almost grabbing the steal is the Fordham Rams. We can't get to it. 42 seconds left. 64 apiece. Titus Holland, the 6'5" point guard, great passer. Thanks to his height, he sees the floor really well. He's looking for a big assist here. Gives it off to Scott Polite, and he somehow gets the finger roll finish to drop. Beautiful touch, as Polite now has 13. But Fabian Swanson beats the press to tie it up. A risky find by Kaya Hendry. He almost threw this one out of bounds, but Swanson with the awareness saves it, goes full court, and ties it up to force overtime. We are seeing another exciting game. Once again, it feels like Fordham cannot get it done without some drama. But Evo Higgins will check out to begin the overtime period. He was gassed, so Dustin Black will begin out on the floor as a 2-guard. Murphy plays the 3. We'll see if he has what it takes to stop Scott Polite, as Polite will actually score to begin the overtime period. But then Corey Terrell finds himself at the line and knocks down 2 huge free throws. He continues to be on the floor in favor of Bennett Pincala. 4:18 left to go, 68 apiece. High post Higbee. Kick out. It is Polite, no good, but Higbee on the follow. It doesn't matter if it's Bennett Pincala or our boy Corey Terrell trying to check him. We can't keep him off the glass, as Murphy a little too eager there. So now Fordham down by 2 with 3 minutes to go. Higgins heads to the scores table to check back in. Here comes Black. Pump fake. He pumps Polite out of his shoes to set up the pull-up tray. Black has his second triple. Time out, Musketeers. We gotta start calling him Big Shot Black. It seems like every game he's hitting a huge 3 to keep us in the game or taking the lead. Dustin Black, a clutch shooter in the making. 72-71 as he actually comes out, but his job is done. He gives us the lead. He can't get the stop, so Xavier up 72-71, but that was still a huge play by Dustin Black, and let Murphy do the rest. He retakes the lead. Hendry with his 5th assist, and this one was a beauty. He ran a pick and roll with Fabian Swanson. The Musketeers collapse on it, and he makes the right play. Instead of forcing it into Swanson, he just dishes it out to our best jump shooter, Murphy with 21 on the game. 73-72. Can we hold on? 1:35 to go. Polite. He takes on 3 defenders, and he still will drop in 2 more. Polite with 6 overtime points as the Musketeers continue to feed the ball his way. Hendry, high post to Murphy, who wants to go one-on-one with Jared Bro. Kick out Swanson with some space, but we'll keep it inside to Murphy. He tries to go with his offhand on the post hook, well short. He's been developing that post game all year long, but this one, it's no good. Polite beats his man. Kick out, Jared Bro might have just sealed the game. Polite's 10th assist pretty much puts this game in check. 81-75 is your final. Fordham unfortunately just ran out of gas there at the end. Some lazy defense, jumping on shooters, but fighting for pump fakes, and that was the difference there at the end. But we played a lot of extra basketball recently, back-to-back overtime games. It was only a matter of time before we come up short, as Murphy led all scorers with 23 points, 17 more for Swanson. He also started today, and Hendry with 11 and 6 as well. Check out Big Shot Black with 2 big threes, and Corey Terrell 3 steals off the bench, 6 points, matching the minutes that Bennett Pincala played. They both split with 21 minutes apiece. You gotta wonder if Coach Carter's thinking about making a switch in the front court. Scott Polite with a near triple-double, Titus Holland with 16 points, and Tyron Higbee with a double-double for the Xavier Musketeers. So like I said, it was only a matter of time before we finally can't pull out one of those close games as we fall back to 500 in league play, and the hunt for a first-round bye gets a little bit murkier with that loss, but luckily Fordham doesn't let it get to them for too long. The Richmond Spiders, who have lost 8 of their first 9 conference games entering today, has dropped another. A 74-60 win improves Fordham's resume. 3 double-digit scores in Murphy, Higgins, and Swanson, with Corey Terrell, Dustin Black, and Dunnington chipping in off the bench. So Fordham improves to 6-5, 16-7 overall, now in a 3-way tie with St. Joe's and St. Louis for 6th in the conference. The St. Joe's Hawks has the tiebreaker over Fordham. They blew us out in our only meeting earlier on this season, but we haven't seen the St. Louis Billikens yet. That changes right now. They are the next team on our schedule, as they've recently fallen out of the top 25 as we travel to St. Louis for the conclusion of this episode. They've been a top 2 team in the conference so far this series, but with a new young core that hasn't quite fully gelled yet, they've ran into trouble against the top dogs of the conference, dropping their meetings against St. Joe's, Charlotte, and Temple. So they haven't yet proven they can hang with the big dogs, but this core oozes potential. Staring at the face of a lot of turnover, this Billikens coaching staff has put together back-to-back top 10 recruiting classes in the entire country. 6'7" sophomore Deontay Culver is a former top 3 prospect and is the reigning NCAA Freshman of the Year. He's a special offensive talent. 6'8" sophomore Josh Puente was a top 30 prospect a year ago and was Missouri's Mr. Basketball. Last but not least, 6'4" freshman Henry Conran is the second-rated freshman in the entire country. Culver and Conran were both the top shooting guards in their respective classes, so that's back-to-back years the Billikens have scored the number 1 2 guard in the country. Like I said, this Billikens staff, they know how to recruit, and I haven't even touched on Terrell Desmond, a strongly built point guard who sees the floor well, and their 2 bigs that average 2.6 blocks combined. So this is a scary team when all is going right for the squad. And as we get ready for tip-off, 2 more big storylines make the presence pregame. And I gotta say that these storylines are pretty polarizing. Do you want the good news first or the bad news first? Bad news? All right. So leading up to tonight, a Fordham player has suffered a practice injury during the game prep leading up to this game, and it's gonna come in the front court. Bennett Pincala suffered a sprained ankle in a scrimmage and was questionable to suit up for most of the week. Recently, he was cleared to play by team doctors, but expect to see plenty of Corey Terrell in relief. And just like last game, we saw them split 21 minutes apiece. Pincala does receive this start tonight, but expect to see Corey Terrell playing major minutes off the bench. Now for the good news. I was checking out the projected brackets pregame, and I took a peek at the Bubble Watch, highlighting the teams that are on the cusp for an at-large bid in March. And shockingly, your Fordham Rams are starting to get some national recognition. This shocked me, but we joined the Bubble Watch list with only 3 weeks to go in the regular season. This makes every game feel like a must-win. You gotta think if the Rams win some big ones in the regular season and then make some noise in the A-10 tournament, they could sneak in as an at-large team. The pressure is on from here on out. So let's see if this St. Louis game is finally the one where we can get off to a good start. It feels like weeks since we've actually been able to start a game with a lead, but I like the way this one's starting. How about the behind-the-head swagger pass from Kaya Hendry? Beautiful dime there. as he actually sets the floor for Fabian Swanson to take it. Nice strong move there. And how about this play? Up 5-1 early, and Bennett Pincala, his ankle looks fine on that block shot. Inside for Preston Murphy, finishing over one of the two pretty solid shot blockers inside for the Billikens. 18-12 here in the first half. This St. Louis club can play some defense, but you wouldn't expect it so far today. We already just got 18 points on the board, looking to make it more. Murphy a little shorts on that one though, as the Billikens look to get things going. Quincy Abrams in transition, blocked by Kai Hendry. It's actually been our defense I've been more impressed by. Torrey Cortez finishes it up, but honestly, I'm still happy with that one. Even when St. Louis scores here in the first half, we've been making it very hard for them. And that possession should show you firsthand. As we see Dustin Black getting the screen now, Bennett Pincala going back door. Nicely done there. Black to Pincala. 27-20. As Pincala has been holding his own here in the first half, still trying to fight through that ankle injury. 3:21 left to go, a 7-point advantage for Fordham. Finally, the good start we were looking for. And we've been seeking this one for weeks now, as Akeem Burke, the bench wing, finds Terrell Desmond, who's a top 3 passer in the conference. He finds the main scorer on this St. Louis club, the 6'7" sophomore Deontay Culver, who could be an NBA player in a couple years. 13.5 points average on the game, rather the season. And that triple from Culver gets the Billikens within 4, as Dustin Black actually levels Terrell Desmond with a screen to free up who else but the hottest 3-point shooter on the team as of recent weeks. Dustin Black setting a solid screen. Gotta love that. That was like a John Stockton screen. You didn't see him coming, but he sets a nice one. 2:51 left to go. Kick out to Akeem Burke. No good. The Rams continued to do an excellent job covering the 3-point line, and then with numbers, we see Kaya Hendry with a beautiful pass here. Talk about threading a needle, gets it around Xavier and Pressey, and then Murphy. He's got the lane thanks to the awesome bounce pass by Hendry. 38-29, the biggest lead of the night for the Rams. And we got a chance to extend it. Terrell with his 3rd rebound, as he's played a lot of minutes here in the first half as expected. With numbers, we can't get it to drop. But Kai Hendry attacks Terrell Desmond before he reaches the timeline. Gets the steal, spin move, floater. Yes, number 44 with 2 more. Shooting, defense, facilitating, finishing, ball handling. Kaya Hendry's doing it all here in the first half of action. He's taking over this game and helping us jump out to an 8-point halftime advantage against the St. Louis Billikens. Gotta love what you're seeing, man. That was probably the best offensive half we played all season. Shooting well from all 3 levels. Only 1 turnover on the game. You can't complain if you're Coach Carter. 13 from Murphy, but it was Hendry taking over the first half there at the end, as the freshman's got 7, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. 46-40, plenty of offense here in this one, as St. Louis is far from out of it though. This is a tough environment to play in, and they've got a chance to turn it around at any given time. And with Deontay Culver starting to get things going, this is the time for them to get back into it. He's got 12, and with this free throw, he can match his season average, as the Southpaw does indeed do just that. A baker's dozen. Timeout Fordham, as the St. Louis Billikens on a little bit of a run here to begin the second half of action. Murphy off a screen. A lot of contact, but no call on Culver, as he pretty much gets away with a hack on Murphy, and then Terrell Desmond scores the layup. The Billikens making some halftime adjustments, amping up the pressure, and it's resulting in some easy runouts. They're on an 11-4 run since we came out of the locker room, and now Miles Ross gets the steal, and Desmond caps off his 2nd straight layup. 13-4 run. Timeout Coach Carter, as our awesome first half has completely vanished with the snap of a finger. Guess it was too good to be true, huh, guys? It was only a matter of time before these games get pretty intense again. Corey Terrell, though, with a huge block. Finally, some defense being played. Murphy, big cross on Minnesota's Mr. Basketball, Henry Conran. He gets crossed over by Murphy. 19 for the team captain. A lot of these Fordham Rams, such as Evangelo Higgins and Preston Murphy, these guys were 2-3-star recruits. Kai Hendry's our only 4-star recruit on the roster, so you gotta think these guys, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder going up against all these 5-star recruits. Murphy, perhaps taking it most personal out of anybody, 22 on the night, as he's single-handedly keeping us in this game. But that might be our Achilles heel here in the second half. That might be our biggest problem, is that too much of our offensive production is coming from number 4. Great defense there by Kai Hendry, as this one's ripped down by Swanson. Hendry looking to set up Murphy again, but the Billikens collapse on him inside. Hendry tries to find a three-pointer, but the rotation is perfectly executed upon, and it leads to a run-out. Culver with 20 on the night. He's been just as brilliant as Preston Murphy, as it is a nice pass by the number 2 overall freshman in the country, Conran. Beautiful assist there. Fordham is in danger of letting a very winnable game slip away. 7 seconds to shoot on this possession, down by 4, under 3 to play. 3 seconds to shoot. Hendry, good look at the end of the shot clock, but this one clangs off the rim. Culver walking the dog up the other way. Culver to Desmond, one of the best passers in the conference. Looking for Puente, pick and pop, Puente, back out to Culver, good contest, but it does not matter, this kid is on right now. And unfortunately these final couple minutes get very, very ugly, as you can see. So, I adore like 95% of College Hoops 2K, I love this game, but the 5% that I don't like sometimes can be pretty hard to look at. And that includes the 6-man meter, and it's one of those things that just needed some fine-tuning if this series continued. Your opponent doesn't miss shots sometimes whenever the 6-man meter is maxed out. When the thing is filled, you can't find open looks, they'll block and steal anything, and unfortunately that's exactly what happened here at the end of the game. And it resulted in St. Louis going on a 16-0 run in the final 2.5 minutes. I know some of these passes were my fault, I got a little frustrated, but leading up to this, I just couldn't do anything, you know. The 6-man meter is sometimes a little too overpowered, and that's why the lead all of a sudden got to 20 points. Did we deserve to win this game? No. Not with how everyone went cold other than Murphy and the runs we allowed there in the second half. But this should have been a 6, maybe 7-point loss, not a 20-point one. So as you see, Murphy with 26 points. Outside of him, just not enough offense, and that doesn't very often win you games. I mean, we always seem to do better when we're spreading out the attack. Kai Hendry had a pretty ugly second half after playing like a seasoned veteran in the first half. 6 turnovers, that's a new career high, unfortunately, and 5 of those came in the second half. He actually spent a couple minutes there during that bad stretch on the bench because he just kept making mistakes. And Terrell Desmond got the better of him in the second half as well. And of course, Deontay Culver, he is a star in the making. Only 5 missed shots, 25 points for what could be a future All-American. So you guys might be a little confused as to why I'm so frustrated with the 6-man meter and losing by 20 instead of 8. You know, why does it matter? You know, why does it matter if we lose by 20 instead of only a couple baskets? Well, you see, we dealt with plenty of fallout after how bad this defeat looks on the box score. Our name on the bubble watch has completely vanished for the time being after the big loss, so the chances at an at-large bid are shot unless we really go deep in the A10 tournament. And it also affected us in recruiting. Coach Carter's former sharpshooter at Richmond, Timo Cruz, had narrowed down his choices to 2 teams, us and North Carolina. And we've had the lead on his services all season, but after the loss, UNC has now jumped us in the recruiting race, and who knows, maybe if this was a 6-point loss instead, we save face with the committee and keep our bubble spot, and Timo Cruz doesn't hold the defeat so harshly against us. But oh well, we just gotta look at putting it behind us. So with 4 regular season games left to go, Fordham now drops to 8th in the conference, 6th and 6th in the league, and the outside chance at a first round bye is pretty much all but evaporated. 4 games left on the year. The Dayton Flyers hold a 1.5 game lead on us for the final first round bye slot. But we're actually going to be hosting the Flyers next episode. I was originally planning on making the next installment all one episode, but every matchup to end the year is so entertaining that I'll be playing all of them. And I'll split up these final 4 games as 2-game episodes. So So next time you see me here on the series in episode 30, we're going to be playing the GWU game, trying to get revenge for the 2-point loss they handed to us at home earlier this year. And then we're going to host the Dayton Flyers as perhaps our last effort to maybe make things interesting at being a top 4 team and securing a bye. But it's a long shot, but maybe a win over Dayton can make things a little bit closer in that aspect. And then 2 episodes from now, we're going to host UMass, who's having a down year, but they are a fringe playoff team, so they'll have plenty to play for on our senior day as we say goodbye to Murphy and Higgins, among others. And finally, we're going to end season 3 in Philly. Temple welcomes us as the top team in the conference standings at this point in the season. So I hope you guys feel a little bit spoiled with that 4-game slate to end the year. That is quite the lineup right there to end season 3. At the end of the day, man, I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and these next 4 games could really shake up the standings and really make or break our chances at making a run in the postseason tournament and going in there with a little bit of momentum as well. All 4 games have plenty of storylines behind them and plenty of reasons why all 4 of them are going to be fun to play and watch. Hope you guys are excited. I know I am for these next 2 episodes, finishing off season 3 with a bang. Next time you see me, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's College Sports Revive signing out. Hopefully we can turn things around next episode. Some tough losses today, but let's put it in the rearview mirror and end off season 3 on a high note. I'll see you guys later. It's College Sports Revive signing out. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace out, everybody.